My name is Cindy Hecker, and I've been a volunteer docent with Wunderlich Farms for over 15 years. I first learned of and went to Wunderlich Farms with my daughter in her fourth grade class in 2008. I loved it and started volunteering the next year when my children's elementary school went. Then, when my twins entered kindergarten a couple years later, I became a regular weekly volunteer. I still love Wunderlich Farms, and I'm happy to share with you how it started and the wonderful things we get to show and do there. In 1988, the Klein Texas Historical Foundation was established by the Board of Trustees of the Klein Independent School District as a nonprofit Texas corporation. The foundation's objectives are to assist in the preservation of buildings, sites, documents, photos, and records of the Klein community of Klein, Texas, as well as to promote interest, encourage study, and research in the community's history. 6 years later, in 1994, the foundation established the Klein Museum to exhibit the documents, artifacts, and photos from the earlier days of Northwest Harris County. The museum has a really large collection of photos and artifacts, which is regularly growing through donations from the early days of the Spring, Klein, and Tomball communities. The museum office and exhibits are located next to Dorey Intermediate School in Klein ISD in Texas. In 1995, the foundation opened Wunderlich Farms for tours. It's a 20-acre living history museum. Tours of the 1891 farm have been designed to reflect the way of life in the rural community of Klein from the 1890s to the 1940s. All fourth graders in Klein SD attend a half-day hands-on tour of the farm, and volunteer docents help with the farm tours and demonstrations when students and other visitors come. So where is Klein, Texas? Here's a map. And if you're familiar with the Northwest Houston area, you see the crossroads of I-45 on the right, 249 on the left, and 1960 is that kind of main road there below the red boundaries. Wunderlich Farms is located in the area just below the K in Klein. In the 1840s, German immigrants established an agricultural community called Big Cypress on Cypress Creek in Harris County. Adam Klein and his wife, Friederike, who were natives of Germany, arrived in 1854. Through the efforts of Adam Klein, a post office was established in 1884 in William Blackshear's General Store on Spring Cypress Road. The area it served was named Klein in honor of Adam Klein. In 1938, the Klein Independent School District was created when 5 common districts were consolidated together. The new Klein High School, seen here, was built and opened in 1939 with only a senior class of 12 students. The opening enrollment of 80 students quickly grew to an average of 310 students who were transported daily on 5 school buses, 32 miles each day. Church was prominent for these early, mostly German families. The Trinity Lutheran Church was founded in 1874 by 13 of the original families. The Kleins were joined by the Bernhausen, Benfer, Brill, Kaiser, Lem, Tice, Wunderlich, Klenk, and Strock families. The church became a center of religious, social, and educational life at Big Cypress. The Klein Historical Foundation honors all the families who settled in the area, showing artifacts and pictures. In fact, all Klein elementary and intermediate schools are named after the founding families in the area, with a few exceptions. So what will you find at Wunderlich Farms today? You will find the original Peter Wunderlich farmhouse, built in 1891 when he married his first wife, Sophie Krimmel, from whence the whole property Wunderlich Farm gets its name. There are other structures as well, like an outhouse, a well, barn, chicken house, horse pasture, and more. This house showcases the 1922 time period for tours. You will also find Peter's mother's house. This is the Maria Catherine Hophius Wunderlich house, built in 1874. After she became a widow, it was moved here to the museum property. This house showcases the 1890s time period, and I spend most of my time volunteering in this house. The next 2 pictures are the Hildebrandt house. Originally built in 1882, The first occupants were August and Dorothea Kreinhop. Mr. Kreinhop had purchased 248 acres from Jacob Strott to build the house on. In 1917, the home was sold to Ed Hildebrandt for $6,000. Ed Hildebrandt married Lydia Tice, the scene here, and they raised 3 children in this house. This house showcases the time period between the 1940s and 1950s. Early telephones, radios, televisions, and electric kitchen appliances will be featured in this house, and the very important indoor bathroom, because it's the only house that has one of those on the property. This is the Tice house built in 1924 by John Edwin Tice, who was married to Rosa Scherer in 1915. Edwin Butch Tice was their 4th child and born in this house in 1928. Our local Klein ISD football stadium is named after Butch Tice. He was on the first Klein Bearcat football team, and he helped coach the team and was an important part of the Klein community throughout his life. He played a role in getting his house moved to the Wunderlich Farms property in 2016. This house is a wood house with 5 rooms and showcases the 1930s time period at the farm. The Great Depression is discussed on tours when you're visiting this house. So this is the historic Frank house, built in the 1840s. It actually once belonged to the McDougall family, was later rented by the Pepito family, and the Frank family moved into it during the late 1880s. Martin Frank had 5 children with his first wife, Emily Tice, and after she passed, he remarried and had 11 children with his second wife, Philippine Krimmel, in this house. We moved this 180-plus-year-old house to Wunderlich Farms property in 2022. We had to remove the roof and cut the house into 3 sections to move it to the property, and then we spent more than a year restoring it for use. It's the largest house in the property and houses the Animals of Klein exhibit and other family pieces, because we have a kitchen and a dining room set up, as well as a parlor and a bedroom in the house. This is it after it's been restored. It has a working wood stove used for cooking demonstrations and historical dinners. Students get to try a cracker and make and try some fresh butter when they come on field trips in this house. Adults can try bread and butter, and volunteer docents usually get fed lunch, as it adds to the conversation. What are you cooking? We demonstrate and teach cooking during the tours. The Frank house showcases the 1908 time period. The original Kohrville School was founded in 1895. This building, the one in the upper left, was built later in 1948, and it served the Black community in the area. These were freed slaves who had moved here to the Bottoms, as they called the area. Kohrville got its name, like most other places, from the main place of business in the area. Here it was the Corman's General Store. Kohrville was consolidated into Rural High School No. 1, which later became Klein ISD. In 1967, once Klein schools were fully integrated, the Kohrville School was closed. For several years, it was used as a community center, and it had other uses before it came to the museum property in 2000. In the lower picture is kind of how it looks today. For our purpose, the right half is set up as a 1925 school classroom with desks and chalkboards. Students get exposed to a 1-room classroom where all grades learn together. On the left side houses the museum exhibits and our gift store. Outside, no school day would be complete without recess. So we have several recess games set up for students to try when they come, like beanbag toss, yard darts, and horseshoes. As I indicated when showing you the houses, they're all set up to represent different time periods. The inside of houses, you'll find artifacts and furniture donated by families, and some are added historical pieces to help showcase different time periods. Here is the Victorian settee on the right in the Maria Catherine house, and in another room you have the wood stove and furniture used during the 1890s time period. It's pretty sparse. This large table is in the Frank house for their very large family to eat at, and the kitchen area is from the Tice house in the 1930s time period. Here are some examples of museum displays that do change out periodically. You'll see some military uniforms and artifacts in one display, and clothes, the double pump organ, and a spinning wheel, amongst other things, in the other display with some sign giving you more information about the items. I don't have a picture, but currently we have a hands tool display where visitors can attempt to name that tool. There are also video recordings of some of the family members that we can play on the TV screen in the museum area. We have an outdoor kitchen and dishwashing stations to let visitors experience the time period. That's me cooking over the outdoor kitchen for the Maria Catherine house. And then dishes, you wash them in buckets and set them out to dry. Visitors can try washing laundry by hand using a washboard and buckets, then wring the clothes out before hanging them up on the line, like my daughter and many fourth graders do when they come on their tours here. Through donations, this blacksmith shop was built, showing how a family would have worked the forge back in the early 1900s. In our Klein area, the Blackshear family was the well-known blacksmith. We have several animals on the farm, and we talk about how they were used by farmers. Every animal had a job or provided food. Horses were used to pull wagons, farm equipment, and carry us. Pigs provided meat, bacon, sausage, ham, and valuable lard, which was used for cooking, soap making, and industrial lubrication. Chickens gave us eggs and meat. Rabbits were a cheap meat source. Their furs were used as well, and even their poop used to help fertilize the garden. Goats give us milk and meat. We have 3 types of goats we showcase. A myotonic or fainting goat, whose muscles freeze for a few seconds when they feel scared or panic, which results in them usually falling on their side. This was, you put a fainting goat in a herd of animals, and if a predator like a coyote comes, they would get that goat instead of the rest of the herd could get away. That's why they were used. A Nigerian dwarf goat was known for their easy care and high butterfat milk, which was great for cheese making, and a Boer goat, which was just best for meat. Bees gave us honey and wax, and they help pollinate the crops. Not pictured, but we do mention cats to help keep the mice population down, and dogs, which were used for protection and herding goats and cattle. The museum has 2 full-time staff who care for the property and create the programming. The rest are volunteers who help run programs and tours. Like myself, we come from a variety of backgrounds, but we all enjoy history and want to share it with our community. One neat resource is the student docents who help on Saturdays and at some events. They started from Ulrich Intermediate History Club, but have expanded to include several homeschool students and other students helping on the farms during the week. Those are my 2 sons on the left. I'm the one sitting at the spinning wheel. So I graduated in a degree of home economics education. So sewing has always interested me. And I actually learned how to use the spinning wheel there on the farm and a loom, which is at the farm. I usually demonstrate and talk about picking cotton, shearing sheep, and taking those cotton and wool fibers to card, spin, weave, and make into cloth for our clothing. Every 4th grader in Klein ISD comes to the farm on a field trip with their elementary school. They will schedule other groups on a limited basis. You can reach out on the website. Beyond 4th grade tours, there's several programs offered, such as a monthly farmers market, the last Saturday of every month, excluding November and December. For preschool age, they have Little Farmer Fridays once a month. The Klein ISD German Fest is held at the farm in April. We hold a haunted farmhouse every October and a fall fest, and ghost tours happen periodically through the year. The Christmas festival is held the first weekend of December. These activities help bring people out to the farm, and some are fundraisers for the farm and foundation to help us to grow. We've been blessed as a recipient of many Eagle Scout projects, and here's just a sampling of a few. We have a little demo cow on the right to demonstrate milking, some signs and storage that Eagle Scouts have built us, tables and benches And then the rabbit cages there on the left, that's my son's project, but there's been several cages built. I hope you've enjoyed a quick overview of Wunderlich Farms and what we do. Please come visit us during the week, or the next farmers market is March 28th. And here's contact information for how you can reach out to me and to the farm to learn more. Thanks.